All right, so what's becoming very, 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 very clear is the only thing that matters is you. What you feel, what you understand, what you know. I'm getting more and more engulfed in spiritual herbalism and understanding that being more understanding of thought forms. Universal law explains to you, the first one says that the mind is all. So, in some sense, it's almost like there's no need to even move on to the rest of them until you grasp that concept. So, if the mind is all, then more study, more understanding of your mind is needed. But then there's this other thing about how your heart is very important as well. Now, your brain is the conduit that your mind works through on a human level. But when you're being created as a human, your heart is formed before your brain. So very important. But anyway, we'll stick to the mind for now. So that means understanding the faculties and the inner workings. Oh, I had something on my mouth I didn't know. The inner workings of your mind is very important. And how thoughts are very important. Thought forms are very important. There's a video that I did a while back talking about emotions and traumas and water and things like that. And something that I said inside of that video was that as human beings, we are the forms of our mother's thoughts. Dad's, but mostly mothers. Her feelings, her emotions during that period of grafting your body, 3D printing your body. Within her body, you embody all of her experiences while creating. So if you just think about you cooking in your home, your food is going to embody the outcome, whatever the ending result of that meal is going to embody all that was going on during the preparation of that meal. How the vegetables were cut, the pot that it was made in. Was the pot up too high? Did the onions burn instead of caramelize? Too much salt in the water, meaning your noodles are going to be salty. You know what I mean? Like all of the things that go along with creating and preparing that meal, the outcome is going to be a culmination of all of what was done before that. So when you're thinking about universal law and the mind is all, and how thoughts form, thoughts are thoughts become manifest, especially in the world that we live in. And you know this to be true because anything that you see in physical form was a thought first. Even you. You know what I mean? Just the fact of wanting to perform sex, there's a thought. There's a thought that comes along with that, along with the feeling. But just knowing that your thoughts are the most important thing right now. Your thoughts, and then the feelings that are attached with that. Because the thought is one thing, but the feeling is another. Because that puts it in motion. Emotions. It puts it in motion. A thought can be formed, but without the backing of a feeling, it doesn't amount to much. Um, so it's kind of like its growth is stunted in some sense. So what that's bringing me to is this idea of a spiritual awakening, and this awakening and the golden age and all those types of things like that. What does that really mean? What does that really mean? So to me, it means that there is, and has been for years. I was reading something that said that it really kind of started around 1899, because a certain era in time had ended in 1899. So it doesn't have a month or anything like that. These things are not, exact. But there are waves of people like waking up. And the point of the awakening is not to have a better life or yes, a better life, but not like to get rich or all of those things. And don't get me wrong, that can happen as well. But it's mostly to shift your thinking. It's mostly to shake up your thinking. It's mostly to allow you clarity into what you've been sleepwalking through this entire time. So, the mind. And it's becoming very clear to me. Just maybe like last week, I just had this epiphany that was like, that's it. Like, none of this really matters. It really doesn't matter. And I realized that what matters is your consciousness. What matters is the thought forms that you are creating going forward. It's not about humanity and saving humanity and all of those types of things like that. Like Bobby Hemmett was saying for so many years. It's not about that. It's about remembering who you are and remembering that all of this stuff that you hear and all of this information, there's just so much information to the point that now it's overload. It's complete overload. It's wild. Everybody believes that they know everything, and they could know everything in their world. But it's given shut up. It's giving everybody just shut the up. I can't think. So I recently stopped following people. I recently deleted all social media apps except for YouTube, which well, obviously if you're seeing this, you know why. But I'm side-eyeing everybody like I used to watch, which I think is a good thing, because I think at some point in time in your evolution, if you choose to evolve, because it is a choice, you have to cut out all the noise to be able to listen to yourself, to be able to find the goddess in yourself, to reintroduce yourself to the alien parts of you, to remember who you are. Years ago, I was saying, I would write, and this just came to me. When I would write the word remember who you are, the word remember, I would always put member, because there was like this deeper meaning to remember. It was very much a remembering yourself, the members of yourself. You know what I mean? Because that's another one of the things that hasn't necessarily been at the forefront of what a singularity is. A singularity is not single, but is single. Like you're one person, but you embody two beings. That's just right up front. Your mama and your daddy, okay? But in all actuality, you embody your mama and your daddy, your mama's mommy and daddy, daddy's mommy and daddy, and then so on and so on and so on. So you as a singular individual to the natural eye looks like a single individual, but you're not a single individual. You know what I mean? I don't know if that was a dichotomy. Is that the word? I don't know. But anyway, it's it's confusing, but it's not confusing if you got ears to hear, the real ears, you know. So there was this idea of remembering who I am, and I think that that has a lot to do with calling a meeting of the minds, the different areas of your mind, not knowing anything about the faculties of your mind, all of the different parts that come together to create you, your belief system, your knowing, your understanding, um, just all of that, just all of that. And it also has a lot to do with a part of the golden age of the spiritual awakening, has a lot to do with the Osiris mythology and bringing all those pieces back together to so that Horus can be created and born, aka like Jesus. You know what I mean? Um, but anyway, yes, the energy is giving. Create your own belief system. And I believe that a belief system is created from your knowing, a true belief system, not the one that's created through tradition. And when I say tradition, I mean, well, my mama believed in Jesus, so I believe in Jesus too. Or my mama believed in whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna believe it too, without any level of contemplation, um, research, you know, whether that be research in actual form, Googleable information, or research by asking yourself questions, and firsthand experience. You know what I mean? We missed out, for a lot of generations. We missed out on the, I'm not going to say the opportunity, because we chose to continue with tradition without, I'm not going to say necessarily without question, but without answers to questions, because I've spoken to a lot of people who have had some questions about certain religious situations, and those questions weren't answered. Most of the answers or response to them had something to do with because I said so. You know what I mean? And you had to leave it at that, because you wasn't going to disrespect your mom or go up against that or whatever like that. And then you start to grow up and the questioning leaves you. School bus coming down the street. But yeah, so being in the space of really having to figure things out for yourself, because first of all, your salvation does not exist on this plane in physical form. That's not happening. Because even if you become successful, even if you have all the money, even if you have all of the material things, the physical world still provides a cap. It's not endless and it's not limitless. But what is that first universal law, is the mind. And also keep in mind that any words that we say, Any words that we use to describe things of higher knowledge or whatever are still an insult to what it really is. But, you know, being as though we decided to use verbal communication as a higher form of communication, we gotta use words instead of keeping the word that came from the void that was actually a sound as the way that we communicate, instead of these words who have backing of meaning instead of feeling. We're going to use those words to convey a message or communicate. So I'm not absolutely sure exactly what was the point of this. I think it was just to say, like, walk to the beat of your own drum. Walk to the beat of your own drum. It's time to just get out of line. Get out of line and get the fuckets. Get the fuckets. Divert your most valuable asset to something that is serving you. Because what's happening is there's a mass feeding of our attention. It's the reason why social media is so profitable. It's the reason why so many things can go on unnoticed by the masses, because the level of distraction is unmatched. And I'm also saying that from very much personal experience, because even with the valuable information that you get, the stuff that resonates with you, even that can be a distraction up to some point. You know what I mean? Like, even if you follow all positive stuff on social media, that can also become excessive as well. So yeah, that's all I had to say. If you're finding yourself being one of those individuals who is awaking from a long, deep slumber, there are many things that can assist with that. Herbs being one of them. There are ancient civilizations that made it their business to create species of plants in order to mitigate some of the etheric density pollution that was plaguing the planet long thousands of years ago. And if you watch my video before this, there are many of herbs and plants that can help clear off the muck that accrued upon your mind, yourself, over the course of your sleep time. The clearing is most important, because how's a muddy duck supposed to fly? You know what I'm saying? When they find them birds and stuff and the oil and all of that kind of stuff like that, they have to clean the oil off of them because they can't fly with the oil on them. So there's a clearing period. And if you're in that clearing period, take it serious. But not so serious where it's like, but like take it serious as into making it a point of your daily life to release old feelings, thoughts, shit. Shitting is a good thing to do. Try to do it more a day. moving your body, allowing some sweat. When you feel the urge to cry, just cry. Release it. Because waking up is like being on sleeping pills, strong sleeping pills for years. You ever take like that NyQuil or one of them daggone sleeping pills or something like that, and the next day it still feel like you're on it? Yeah, it's like that. So help yourself out. Help yourself out. Um, Listen to Bob Marley. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be all right. It may not be easy, but move with ease. All right. See y'all.